Let's talk about target markets, which is one of the most fundamental things we need to talk about when it comes to marketing and creating content, and also learning how to communicate. So how do you find your target market? Well, there's three biggest mistakes that I find that people are making when it comes to target market. If you do follow these mistakes, what ends up happening is that you fall into a trap that it creates a domino effect. If you don't get your market right, your message is going to be wrong because you don't have the right market. So therefore, you're going to create a message that doesn't match the marketplace, which they don't hear you. So therefore, your message is going to be terrible. When your message is terrible, well, your content is shot. So therefore, all your marketing, all your content, all the creations that you're creating is going to be all wrong. So it creates this domino effect if you actually do this incorrectly. So creating the perfect target market and understanding these rules will help you define your message better, and then therefore create a better content and create better marketing. So here's what you need to do. The first biggest mistake that most people make is thinking is that their target market is too broad. So your target market is not and cannot be something that everybody can hear the message loud and clear and they're going, this is for me. That doesn't work. You have to be able to create a message, or at least have a target market that allows you to make them feel that this message or is for me or it's not. That's the target market. When you are able to separate, create a line of distinction where the people don't fit this profile will literally say, that message isn't for me, I don't want to hear it. If you don't have that line on your target market, you're gone too broad. It's really going to kill you in terms of your messaging and marketing. It's not going to work. So that's the first biggest mistake. If your target market is 25 to 45-year-old females, that's way too broad, because a 25-year-old female thinks massively different in terms of what their needs are, what their wants are, what their desires are, comparatively to a 45-year-old female. They're not even in the same age range in terms of what they desire. So you got to think about going too broad could be really detrimental to you. The second thing that most people make the biggest mistake is that they think they can only have one target market. I want to start with one, but doesn't mean you only stick with one. You have to get clearer on your marketplace to really kind of get specific to the message to that marketplace, so which means you do have to narrow it down. But then once you get really good at that, you can then have multiple target markets. It allow you to get more specific in the messaging and how you deliver the content. So that's so really important. So don't think that you can only have to have one target market. You can have multiple target markets, but you need to have the ability to actually know that there's plenty out there. The third biggest mistake that most people make is that they really just focus on two separate things. They only typically look at the, from a chiropractic point of view, is the geographic, which means the location point of view. But I want you to think about doing three specific circles. You want to have three areas when it comes to target market. One is geographic, which is the location, target market of a specific radius. Okay, that's important. The second circle you want to think about is the demographic, which is where most of you are thinking about. Demographic is usually age, sex, finances, career, the types of jobs, the kind of families they have, how many kids they're going to have. All of those things are demographically type of style, which is all important, really massively important. The deeper you dive into it, the better, because that's what gives you some sort of understanding of what their wants and desires. The third circle that no one thinks about, right, which is probably the most important one, is the psychographic. Well, the psychographic is the psychology of that person, or how they think. Because let's just take a 35-year-old female who lives in the same neighborhood, have a similar income bracket. The psychology of this woman is that there's two women. One of them eats a Big Mac every day, don't really care for anything about her health, have never been to the gym in the last 10 years, versus the same woman, 35-year-old woman in the same suburb who drives the same car, but they care about where they go. They go to the gym 3 times a week, they go to yoga, they buy organic food, and they care about wellness care. Those two same scenarios, same demographics, have different psychology, and that is the missing link. If you spend some time looking at your demographic, not to just focus on the geographic, not just focus just on the demographic, but focus on the psychographic, then you actually have an opportunity to really get clear on creating a marketplace that matters. Let's think from being a chiropractor. There are tons of different types of chiropractors. We can classify all ourselves as the demographic of chiropractic, but the psychographic of all chiropractors, as you're aware, is very different. That there's a spectrum of different chiropractors, and their psychology on how they see chiropractic is very different and very vast. Trying to pitch or try to message everything for all chiropractors is a bad idea. What you want to do is create a message that resonates to a certain group within the chiropractic profession that resonates with you. That takes you to look at the psychographic of that particular target marketplace. And if you don't dive into your particular target marketplace, every segment, every target market you think you know has a psychographic component to it. Which one do you want to see? And that type of psychographic adding into this model, this 3-piece model, is going to help you create content that matters to them so they can hear loud and clear. So I hope this has been helpful to you, utilizing this to leverage how to create better content for your patients and for your prospects. This is really important, especially during times like these, to not blast messages to everybody to hear, but to be very, very clear, getting the right message to the right people so they hear you loud and clear. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, that subscribe button, you should press it. And because I want to share videos with you just like this one to help you grow your practice.